Worry is a psychophysical state of consciousness in which you are caught in feelings of helplessness and apprehension about some trouble you don't know how to get rid of. Perhaps you are seriously concerned about your child, or your health, or a mortgage payment. Not finding an immediate solution, you start worrying about the situation. And what do you get? A headache, nervousness, heart trouble. Because you do not clearly analyze yourself and your problems, you do not know how to control your feelings or the condition that confronts you. Instead of wasting time worrying, think positively about how the cause of the problem can be removed. If you want to get rid of a trouble, calmly analyze your difficulty, setting down point by point the pros and cons of the matter, then determine what steps might be best to accomplish your goal. If you have no money, you feel forsaken. The whole world seems to be going backward. But worry will not provide a solution. Get busy and make this determination. I will shake the world to get my share. In order to keep me quiet, the world must satisfy my need. Each person who has performed some work, even clearing away weeds, has done something worthwhile on earth. Why shouldn't everyone receive his just share of the earth's bounty? No one needs to starve or be left out. The present money standard will go. Remember what I say. Money creates a desire for power, and too often it makes the possessor heartless to the sufferings of others. Accumulation of wealth is all right if the wealthy person also has the desire to help others in their need. Money is a boon in the possession of unselfish people, but it is a curse in the hands of the selfish. I used to know a man in Philadelphia who was worth $10 million, but it never gave him happiness. It brought him only misery. And he wouldn't even buy a 10-cent cup of coffee for anyone else. Gold has been given for our use, but it belongs to no one save the divine spirit. Each child of God has a right to use God's gold. You must not admit failure and give up your right. Success or failure is determined in your own mind. God made you his son. You have made yourself a beggar. If you have convinced yourself that you are a helpless mortal and you allow everyone else to convince you that you can't get a job, then you have passed the decree in your own mind that you are down and done for. No judgment from God or fate, but your own pronouncement on yourself keeps you poor or worried. Success or failure is determined in your own mind. Even against the negative opinion of the rest of society, if you bring out by your all-conquering God-given will the conviction that you cannot be left to suffer in difficulties, you will feel a secret divine power coming upon you, and you will see that the magnetism of that conviction and power is opening up new ways for you. Do not grieve over your present state, and do not worry. If you refuse to worry, and if you make the right effort, you will remain calm, and you will surely find a way of reaching your goal. Remember that every time you worry, you put on a mental brake, and in struggling against that resistance, you place strain on your heart and mind. You wouldn't try to drive off in your car with the brake on because you know it would severely damage the mechanism. Worry is the brake on the wheels of your efforts. It brings you to a dead stop. Nothing is impossible unless you think it is. Worry can convince you that it is impossible to do what you want to do. Worrying wastes time and energy. Use your mind instead to try to make some positive effort. It is even better to be a go-getting materialistic man and accomplish something than to be lazy. The lazy man is forsaken by both man and God. Many fortunes have been made by enterprising people, but don't make money your criterion of success. Often it isn't the money, but the creative ability exercised in earning it that brings satisfaction. It is foolish to try to flee from your worries, for wherever you go, your worries go with you. You must learn to face your problems fearlessly and with a clear conscience, as I have done. Now I have no more prayers for my soul or my body, for I have achieved eternal assurance from God. This is sufficient. For me, to pray would be to doubt. My conscience is free, for I have done no wrong to any human being. I know this to be truth. To be able to say to oneself, I have wronged no one, is to be the happiest person on earth. When I think of the many wonderful souls who have faith in me, not out of emotional blindness but through intelligence and reason, I know I am very much blessed. Of all possessions, I love true friendship most. Be a friend to all. Even if your love and trust are betrayed by some, don't worry. Always be yourself. You are what you are. This is the only sincere way to live. Though all may not want to be your friend, you should befriend all, never expecting anything in return. I understand and love all, but I never expect of anyone that he should be my friend and understand me. On the strength of this principle, I am at peace with myself and the world and never feel any cause for worry. The treasure of friendship is your richest possession because it goes with you beyond this life. All the true friends you have made, you will meet again in the home of the Father, for real love is never lost. On the other hand, hate is never lost either. Whatever you hate, you also attract to yourself again and again until you overcome that intense dislike. Love is short-lived unless it is divine love. What of all the lovers through the ages who have promised eternal fidelity to one another under the light of the silvery moon? Their skulls are strewn over the earth, and the moon laughs at most of them and says, "How they lied, for their love has not been forever." But if the love you feel in your heart is not of this earth, not worldly, if you have achieved love for all on a basis of divine friendship and not carnal attraction, if you love others for themselves and not for selfish ends, you have attained and expressed God's divine love. To develop pure and unconditional love between husband and wife, parent and child, friend and friend, self and all, is the lesson we have come on earth to learn. You must not hate even your enemies. No one is all bad. If you hear someone playing a piano that has a defective key, you are inclined to judge the whole piano as bad. But the fault lies in just one key. Fix it, and you will see that the piano is perfectly good. God lives within all his children. To hate anyone is to deny him in yourself and in others. This earth is the laboratory of God. We burn ourselves in the fire of mortal experience so that our divine immortality, which is buried beneath the dross of our consciousness, may be once again revealed. Love all, keep your own counsel, and do not worry. Give your troubles to God. When you worry, it is your funeral, all arranged by yourself. You don't want to be buried alive by your anxieties. Why suffer and die every day from worry? No matter what you are going through, poverty, sorrow, ill health, remember that somebody on this earth is suffering 100 times more than you are. Do not consider yourself so unfortunate, for thus you defeat yourself and close out the omnipotent light of God that is ever seeking to help you. Just think what is happening in the lives of people in Europe today and realize how much more fortunate you are. There is no excuse for this war. This is progress. This is civilization. Mother's Day should remind all mothers of their divine role to feel with a mother's heart for all mankind. I feel for those boys on the battlefield. If one is killed in action, he at least has freedom from this miserable world, but how cruel it is to have to live the rest of one's life in a mutilated body. Seeing an arm and a leg cut off in the viciousness of war, the mind has no desire to continue residing in that dismembered form. In my meditations, I see souls groaning, some on the battlefield with their bodies torn open, others in hospitals suffering from cancer with just a little time to live. How tragic is this world? It is a place of uncertainty. But no matter what has happened to you, if you throw yourself at the feet of the Father and seek his mercy, he will lift you up and show you that life is but a dream. I have seen this truth. When I put my mind at the Christ center, I don't feel the body at all. No sensation or mental torture can affect you if the mind is dissociated from it and anchored in the peace and joy of God. Practice mental neutrality. Even-minded endurance is called titiksha in Sanskrit. I have practiced this mental neutrality. I have sat and meditated all night long in icy water in bitterly cold weather. Similarly, I have sat from morning till evening on the burning hot sands in India. I gained great mental strength by doing so. When you have practiced such self-discipline, your mind becomes impervious to all disturbing circumstances. If you think you can't do something, your mind is a slave. Free yourself. I don't mean that you should be rash. Try to rise above disturbances gradually. Endurance is what you must have. Whatever may be your trouble, make a supreme effort to remedy it without worry, and until it is resolved, practice titiksha. Isn't this practical wisdom? If you are young and strong, then as you gradually strengthen your will and mind, you can practice more rigid methods of self-discipline as I did. If you are thinking that the winter weather is coming and you are bound to catch a cold, you are not developing mental strength. You have already committed yourself to certain weakness. When you feel you are susceptible to catching a cold, mentally resist. Get away. I am following common sense precautions, but I will not allow worry about it to invite the illness by weakening my mind. This is the right mental attitude. In your heart, sincerely do your best at all times, but without anxiety. Worry only paralyzes your efforts. If you do your best, God will reach down his hand to help you. Sleep is a blessing because, no matter what your troubles are, you are free from them when you are asleep. Learn to be free consciously during your waking hours. If you haven't tasted sugar, you can't know its sweetness. If you haven't used the full potential of your mind, you do not realize its wondrous power. In Washington, D.C., a young lady came to me and said, "I have chronic heart trouble. I have consulted a specialist, but I am getting no better. Is there any way you can help me?" I looked into her mind and felt what the trouble was. You also can develop this intuitive power if you are calm and if you meditate deeply. There is no limit to what you can do with the innate power that God has given you. I said to the woman, "You have no heart disease. If ever I speak the truth, it is now. If you still have heart trouble tomorrow, you can say I was the greatest liar and forget all about me. But I know that your ailment will be gone." "How?" she asked. I replied with a question. "Have you had a recent unhappy love affair, a very sad one?" She was surprised. "Yes, how did you know?" "Isn't it true," I went on, "that day and night you are thinking about that grievous experience?" She hung her head and admitted it was true. "You must give up your moping," I told her. "The milk has been spilt. Why cry now? Find someone who will appreciate your love. There is no sense in giving loyalty to an individual who doesn't love you. Your former loved one is enjoying himself with someone else, and here you are hopelessly pining away for him." She said she would try to forget him. "Not just try," I insisted. "You must, this minute. Release this man from your mind." The woman was receptive. A short time later, she came and told me, "You were right. The moment I stopped thinking about that man and about my unhappiness, my heartbeat became normal." If you counsel yourself in the way I have suggested to you today, if you do not acknowledge weakness in the face of troubles, and if you refuse to worry about your problems, you will find out how much more successful, peaceful, and happy you are. Through my own effort, I have realized this in my life. You should do the same. Daily, make this affirmation: I will be neither lazy nor feverishly active. In every challenge of life, I shall do my best without worrying about the future. God can never forsake you. Remember that the mind cannot suffer any pain unless it accepts the suggestion of pain. The mind cannot suffer from poverty or anything else unless it accepts the unpleasantness of the condition. Jesus was severely treated. His life was filled with problems, obstacles, and uncertainties, yet he had no worries. Remember, you also are a son of God. You may be forsaken by everyone else, but you cannot be forsaken by God because he loves you. You should never worry because God made you in his indomitable image. Don't grieve for what you don't have. The most materially successful man may have the greatest worries and unhappiness. In contrast, I have seen in humble little huts and caves in India men who were true monarchs. The earthly throne of one such saint was a dried grass mat. If I could place him here before you, you would see a true king. He wore only a little loincloth and did not have even a begging bowl. Such are the real kings of the earth. Some of them I have seen in the Himalayas, no food, nothing at all. Nor are they beggars. They are richer than the world's millionaires. Because they are the friends of all, people love them and love to feed them. In bitingly cold weather, I saw one saint in the Himalayas who had nothing on. "Won't you catch cold?" I said. Sweetly he answered, "If I am warm with God's love, how can I feel the cold?" Saints like him are greater than any crowned king. If without food, without any visible means of security, such men can be like kings, peaceful and without worry, why can't you? Realize that the infinite presence of the Heavenly Father is ever within you. Tell him, "In life and death, health and sickness, I worry not, O Lord, for I am thy child evermore."